A coward dies 1,000 deaths. A soldier dies but once.
Welcome one and all, this is Blaezer RTW. I hope you are good. I am pretty good. A couple of hours before I go out on the lash with the lads to watch the football, England-Croatia. So it should be a good laugh. Right, okay. Yeah, so you joined me for a 3v3, bit of a different one as you can see from the beginning. There's some elephants in it. We'll get into that in a second. Let's just quickly run through the armies just because then we can get the ball rolling. So on the enemy's right, against our left, is the Brutii Bacchus Malus. He's got 2 archers, 6 Praetorian Cav, and then the rest of them's urbans. In their centre is Jack Frost. He's got a couple of archer auxilia, 6 cav, and then the rest urbans. And then on their left flank against our right is Clash of the Brotherhood. He's got 6 Praetorian cav. He's actually got a couple of legionary cohorts, as his Peeler shields. And then the rest are urbans. And what that means is that you can probably see already, but the little flags, several of his troops have got 7 upgrades, gold, and then an experience stripe. So it'll be interesting to see whether they stick around or not. So up against him is going to be Bacchus Manus, Thor's hammer. I hope that's not a euphemism. I'm assuming it's actual reference to the thing, but there we go. Okay, to my eye, that looks like a 14-6, and he's gone what would have actually happened back in the day, whereby, they've gone in a checkerboard formation. Although I don't know if they actually went into battle in checkerboard or whether they just marched up to battle in checkerboard. I'm not. I enjoy Roman history, but I'm not that up to their battle tactics. In the middle, we've got Stinger of the Brotherhood, who is SR. I'm pretty sure he was Eric as well in the last couple of 3v3s, and I'm pretty sure he's featured in quite a few of the videos because he changes his name, but I never know who he is and who he isn't. I'm sure people would have already known by now, though. He's gone the Seleucids. He's got 6 archers, 5 cataphracts, 3 silver shields, 5 legionaries, and then the armoured elephants. They're pretty tough. And then me on the end, I've gone 6 cav, 13 urbans, and what you probably can't see is this little flag in the middle here. It's Velites or Velites, whichever way you say it. And what they were was I just wanted to see. I didn't realise that their missiles weren't armour piercing. I thought they threw javelins like the Peeler are for the urbans, but I didn't realise they weren't armour piercing. So I've done a few games where I had them in there just to see if they were worth maybe actually investing in using them as my Peeler shield. They're just going to soak up Peeler, but they could actually throw some digs back, if you know what I mean. But it didn't work out like that. They actually worked really well against pike units, though. I think 2 of them killed 54 silver shields when I did an experiment against Seleucids at one point. But I think the best ones is it the Illyrian mercenaries? There's one of them has got an armor piercing, or it might be the Spanish mercenaries or someone from the Spanish. But there's one load of missile troops, like javelin troops, that have got armor piercing javelins, so are as effective as Peeler. I can't remember which one it is though. So yeah, there we go. Right, okay. You can see I've just moved 2 seconds. Right. Sorry about that. It wasn't work that time. It was how should we say, it's a man about a dog. Okay, so we can see starting to shift a little bit. SR has brought 2 archers to this left flank and backed him up with his cataphracts. The elephants aren't going to do anything until their archers have been neutralised. Oh yeah, I should just say about that actually. Yeah, they did obviously kick up. They just sort of said elephants aren't allowed in 31k because they're not, which is why you don't ever see them in 31k. But I think SR with his, what his personality is like, or if you don't, he was one of them, and he just sort of said, well, I'm an honorary Brotherhood member who came up with the rules, so but I get to use them to that effect. And then he was like, well, you've got 4 archers, so if you can't get rid of elephants with 4 archer auxilia, then you shouldn't be playing the game, or something to that effect anyway. Yeah, funny guy. He hasn't been on for ages actually, or not that I know of anyway. So yeah, I don't know what's happened to him, but he was always a good laugh from my point of view. Right, I've lost track of what was going on in the battle now. Yeah, you can sort of see I come out to marry up, with the Seleucids, and I was thinking I was going to face up against the green. Looks like, I can't remember it specifically, but looking at it now, I think the Seleucids, I think he likes to have his cataphracts on the wing for a start with, because he can take his archers out there with impunity. But also Bacchus is a really good player, so maybe he's thinking he should face up against him. Me and Jack Frost, who are similar, face up against each other, and then I'm guessing Thor and Clash are similar too. I mean, with Thor's formation, it's really good against pikes, and I would say he's an experienced player looking at that formation, but you do get it sometimes where inexperienced players, like I said at the beginning, see that that's how the Romans used to fight and then set it out in a checkerboard formation. But to my eye, he looks like he knows what he's doing, so I think we're going to give ourselves the better matchups. Whoever the Seleucids face is going to be Rome at the end of the day, so it doesn't make any difference to him really, and he probably backs his ability to be able to beat Bacchus, but we'll soon find out because Bacchus is really good. Okay. Right, just before it all kicks off, you can sort of see what's happening from this angle. I'm just going to spark up said dog. Okay. Right, I do enjoy watching the decent pike players because I'm not very good at 31k with pikes. I'm alright at CWB with them, but 31k is a different animal, and it's good to see how, you've got variations. Obviously it varies from faction to faction, like Greece, you may as well just bring like 14 fully upgraded Spartans or something like that. That's what people tend to do, whereas with the Seleucids it tends to be a lot more mixed because their actual strength's in the cavalry, but you've got to play different, the Spartans you could essentially just chuck into the middle, put them all, take them all off guard mode, put them all into attack, and then just click on the enemy general or alt click behind the formation, and they'll just walk straight through the middle of them. Right, you can see that Bacchus was going to go for a raid on the archers. He sent his cavalry through the infantry, which was a good idea, because then if the enemy cavalry attacks, they've got to go through the urbans, but these aren't normal enemy cavalry, they're cataphracts that have got armor piercing maces that are effective against the urban, so he needs to watch out because he could get cleared out pretty easily there. You'll notice he's running his pikes and legionaries right up behind as well, so these cataphracts aren't going to get charged now. These ones coming in are with 2 armies worth of cavalry, so these 2 are going to go pretty much instantly. But what that's done is that's allowed him to actually move his elephants in. You've seen they've come in. Julio's sending in his cavalry to back it up. Let me just pause that for a second. We'll just make sure we're not missing anything. It looks like we are, because my army's doing something. So at this end, they're both sort of facing off. I'm surprised. I mean, I don't know whether Clash has thought we're a bit cleverer than we actually were, because it looks like Thor's thinking about sending his cav over, or he has sent it over, and he's just brought back 2 of them. Probably what he was thinking was he was going to send his cav over, I'd move mine up and back him up against Clash. I've not bothered because I've not got that battle awareness yet for teams. So he's brought a couple back, and Clash is probably the same. He probably thought that I was going to back up, but if he would have full on attacked Thor, I wouldn't have. Not that I wouldn't have batted an eyelid, because I would have as soon as the message come up saying help me out over here on the right, all your horses are over there. But yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm just trying to think what I can do to improve our team's chances. And what I've decided that is that this is obviously a big tussle with a lot of enemy cav and a lot of infantry, one of our full armies over there, and then the rest of them are over here on their own. So what I've decided to do is there's a big old gap here. I'm just going to chuck my army straight in here and pretty much face it up how we are here, facing directly against these two. And what that's going to do is basically mean that these two are out of this end battle here, apart from the cav of Jack Frost, but essentially that ends their participation in helping out the Greens, and then it's between, we'll have, hopefully I might do something with my cav. It might be over, come back this way where the Julii are, or at least just back my army up. So we'll see. So yeah, I'm running that in there. He's running a couple back there, just facing off at the end. Right, so you can see those two cataphracts got totally destroyed, or not destroyed, but they just instantly routed as soon as all that Brutii cav and the SBQR cav hit. They will come back at those numbers. The Julii are here to help as well, so hopefully if they can take out some of this cav, or at least let the cataphracts go past them a little bit, they'll reroute and then they can come back and help and finish them off. Right. As for the rest of it, all the archers are here, backed up. They should be flaming these elephants now. You can see that the Seleucid has got a real nice angle on his, on his battle lines, and that has basically he's opened the door to me effectively there. He sort of, he's smashed the window, put his hand through, opened the door from the other side, and opened it up for me and go on, fill your boots, just like what's his name from The Godfather? Right, the first one, when he goes, yeah, I've got a friend who's got a carpet, and he just breaks into someone's house and he just rolls up the carpet and goes, Clemenza. Yeah, funny. Yeah, funny, but good film. I love that film. And the books. Right, so you can see the elephants have gone in. I would assume these archers are going to be flaming them too. It's how much damage they can do before they start running amok. Yeah, he's used them quite effectively there, because what he's done, if it would have worked out right, he probably would have done really well, because those two that were coming in from the side obviously would have been where these green are, where my point, where the cursor is now. Elephants coming from that side, all those troops from that side, and the cataphracts already in there. That would have been bad news for the green, but they've just done enough just to ward off those two, which is mean that the elephants just lost maybe a little bit of their shock value. The cataphracts have now lost all their charge bonus, so they're just in there with the maces. Yeah, SR is going to be too good not to have in their mace attack now, which he is doing. So I think we're about there. So with regards to where to keep an eye on, in the middle ground, just keep an eye on my army. That will come through here. I can't remember what I do with the cav now. I would have thought I'm just going to back up my own army though. Julii cav over here, will it help these or do anything with this cavalry? Remember, there's only 4 cav there against probably 8, 10, maybe even 12 Praetorian cav. So they're not going to stand a chance, but if they can just hold them up long enough for the elephants and the cataphracts to do their business, the Brutii cav will be returning to nothing but corpses. So let's unpause that and just keep an eye on it. Okay, so the Julii's come in. Yeah, he's going to help the cataphracts out. He needs to send those in from the right now. Yeah, they've just surrounded that. He was unlucky there, because there's 2 units he sent in from one side just didn't do enough. Is SR going to see his cataphracts in time? You can see the elephants. I think they're like chariots. You've got to run them through things rather than target them specifically. So he's trying to run them out. Yeah, you can see all the flames are coming in now. They're coming back. Can you see my army here in the middle ground is angled off quite nicely? It looks like my cav, actually, what I'm going to do is just run it straight through my army to this side, obviously, and then, because all their cav is chasing off the cataphracts and the remnants of the Julii cavalry there. Okay, so, yeah, the elephants are still going strong, surprisingly. I'm chasing off the archers now. Obviously, I don't want them to be flaming matey boys elephants. I want them to do as much damage as I can. I'll probably not... I would have been better off doing 1 by 1 sort of thing. The elephants are running amok, and now look, they're going to tear through the thing. thing, but I think SR's done the right thing, and he's knocked a wedge in the top of their skull, and they've all dropped like flies. In comes my cav. I'm going to help out SR now, and I'm not going to go for the SBQR cav. I'm going to help clear out these units. So when I say these units, let's have a look what we've got. So on this side, let's have a look at these urbans first, because these are a bit isolated. So all that the Brutii has got left of his troops is this general, which has got 51. So probably that one's routing, but it'll probably come back. So let's just give him 4 full urbans, and he's got all his cav here as well. I think what's happened is that they've given the signal. These Brutii and the SPQR have probably decided that they want to go for me, so they've probably said to Jack Frost to engage me. That's why he's run all his army in at once, and I think what they were planning to do was send one in, but you can see SR, top quality, he's brought his pikes back and he's just chucked them in just in front of that run, and look at that, that's just gonna, that one unit of 50 silver shields is probably going to hold up, if not take out, all that cav there. So that'll be interesting to watch. Even if some of them do get through, if they come through on the left hand side, they've got this silver shield to meet. If they come from the right hand side, got that one to meet. So you know that I get, you know, I scratch your back, you scratch mine sort of business, where I've given him a little bit of a hand on this side, not much to be honest with you. I think he had it. I think he had it covered, but he's given me a bit of help now that his spike spears aren't needed. Let's go and have a look what Thor's doing. So he had his 2 cav over here. He sent probably 4 urbans, heavy flanking action around the right. One of them's engaged up just to tie down that one. So what will probably happen is he'll move up the next line or 2, probably send a couple around the left just to threaten on that side, so that just to keep him on it, just to keep Clash honest, and then he'll look to heavily move around. I would have thought this and this one are blocking units, so these 2 are going to go at this cav, and then his cav that he's got just going to go and try and hit this one. The trouble with that is that if he backs this cav off this way, they're going to be pretty good for the counter charge. Okay. So I think behind us, when I say behind us, as in where we started, is all pretty much done. You're not going to miss a lot from me basically just charging that general. And then I think SR, what he's going to do is he's got 2 or 3 cataphracts left. He's going to go after that one and that one. And that's going to be that. So what we'll do just for a minute, we'll keep it like this, just so you can just keep an eye. There's these 4 flanking ones by the general, in and around the general of the Julii. And then what we've got is the green cavalry, which has just run in, and SR has just thrown his thing out, his spear out, and we'll see what Jack Frost does with this, whether he goes over and try and hit the Julii, or whether he comes over here, tries to hit me, or whether he just goes behind his units, or whatever he does. So let's have a quick look. So this green cavalry first, this cavalry, and just keep your eye on the top right, and I'll try and keep an eye on it if I can. So yeah, down go the spears. They changed their target. They probably would have been better off carrying on for my general if they were going that way, but he's not even facing the right way. He's sending in some pikes from that side, some pikes from that side. That is what do they call it? You know, perfect pitch perfect, as they call it. He has literally just wiped out 6 units of cav, was probably the weakest units in the game. Infantry wise, sorry. You can see Jack is going to come in for a side charge on me, which isn't the worst idea, except then A, they're not in wedge formation, B, there was some archers just held them up enough just to stop the charge bonus, and C, I've got 6 full urbans that are not engaged. But if he wants a bit of that, then I'm going to give him a bit of that. And I can tell you one thing for nothing, is that from this angle there is nothing to stop me hitting that full army with 6 full cav, and that will be bad news, like serious bad news if he gets away with that. Looks like some, I thought that Brutii cav was coming back, but it's not. It's just doing that. Let's just go and check what's going on over here. Okay, so as we thought, the cav actually isn't actually doing anything yet. I would have thought he would have wedged that up and brought it just to back up his general, maybe. This cav looks like there was a bit of a tussle. The urbans and the cav. Is that some cav there? So he has brought some cav back. Maybe that come back from somewhere else. Clash has just already given him one hit. He's going to pull out and probably hit him again. You can see Jack Frost has moved his cavalry. He's in the process of retreating his out of the way. Okay, let's just keep an eye on this. Right, doesn't look like I'm actually going to form up my units into wedge properly, but I am going to get a pretty decent charge in. Yeah, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units gone. Push them forward to the next one. That's 9 and 10, and that's a full house. Brutally Eye Cow's going to come in, but I doubt it'll make it before it routes. Oh, it did. Maybe not. It's charging through routing things. There's routing things near it. So that lot wiped out. So that was pretty good. So it's pretty much all over here now. You can see Jack Frost is actually bringing his cav over this way. Clash is coming in for another hit on the Julii, who sent in his cav from the back, but in flat formation, which isn't really going to do a lot other than add to the numbers, which is maybe what he wanted to do. You can tell it's a sign of the times because both generals are actually engaged, which is always a bad sign when you've got to engage your general. In comes the SPQR cav. Let's see what this is going to hit. I think he's going to take out probably this one, or was he going for the general? He's changed his thing halfway through. The Judi's actually seen him coming and thrown some units out. Yeah, you see, did you see how that he went for it and then it stopped just before it touched and then he done it? What he did then is he actually changed target. He obviously seen they were facing and changed it to that one, but tried stopping horses in full charge and then getting them up to full speed again. In real life you're not going to do it, so that's why you can't do it in the game. And I think it is the longer the run up to an extent, the more charge bonus you get. So I used to do it where I would start running them in and then I would suddenly think, oh no, I'll go for another one, and they'd stop just before they were going to hit, and then they'd lose all their charge bonus. So once you've picked your target, unless they're quite far out, make sure you don't change it. So you can see that the Julii has been rolled over now, so just that weight of the 3 or 4 cav there was enough to distract enough of his units that Clash could then charge the other side and completely rout him off. So that's pretty good. Right, I think that's all of them, isn't it? Okay, so before the next phase of the battle starts, let's just check what we've got stock-wise on the shelves and see what we're doing. So right at the back here, a couple of archers, they're being chased off by the cataphracts. They probably won't catch them, but he hasn't, these can't really do too much with 9 cataphracts, and he's probably better off keeping those archers out of the game. Up on this end at the far left, there's a couple of urbans that have come back from that mass rout. You can see the Seleucids, how well he's played with respect of he's still got loads of pikes left and all his legionaries, so that's pretty good. He's only lost his cataphracts and I say only cataphracts, but and his elephants. You can see me, I'm pretty depleted, but I have still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 6 full urbans all in. I know there's more units, but if you added them all together they would be. There's even a couple here that I decided to chuck out. It probably wasn't meant to be, but they've acted as a bit of bait. And if there's 60 of them, unfortunately this guy here is routing running past them, otherwise I'd be confident they can hold. But basically if they can hold until my cav, which is coming this way sharpish, gets to it, then I can probably I can probably take out all that cav. He's just not moving it. Yeah, and that's pretty good by me. I got a decent strike in the end. Even if not, we should cancel each other out with regards to the cav, which would be fine by us. I think we've got more than them anyway. What have they got left? Probably 5. I mean, remember Clash had some with 7, so if we just assume all those 5 are the ones with 7 upgrades, then he's got 3 more. So we've obviously got more troops than him. He needs to take me out quick smart before the Seleucids comes. The Seleucids looks like he's more just going to see how it pans out and see what happens. Oh no, here he comes. I've still got actually another full unit behind there not doing anything, so he's obviously just chilling out, having a smoke. You see one guy here is going to get hit. That's fine by me because that's a nothing unit doing nothing, and what that's allowed is that none of my armies actually got hit, which means we're going to surround Clash, which means that he's going to rout, which he has done. As soon as I get in amongst these two, they're going to rout. I've actually got quite a lot of cav left here, so what I really need to do is probably bring it over to where this Juliai cav and these SPQR units are, which looks like I'm just about to do, and then probably line them up out here on the right and aim for that one that had just routed the one next to it, and then it'll go through the general. That's what I would do now. You can see the technique that he's got where he kind of selects his pikes and then just follows, you know, he'll see that lot going, so it wouldn't surprise me if he just grab those two and just track them up there, and he knows they're going to be there in about, and then when he casts his eye back and sees where this cab is in 5 seconds time, he'll move them more to where they are. I did send my cab in, but it only just hit the SPQR, the one next to the SPQR general. I didn't actually hit it. So rather than get bogged down in a melee at this stage, much better to bring it out and recycle it, which I am. I'm not going to get a charge on those, but I have routed them. And now what I should be able to do is just turn around, come straight into the back of this general. He's only got 28. I haven't got much of a charge bonus. My cab's probably pretty tired, which it is. But that should be enough. Which basically leaves our two near enough. I'd say we've probably got 3/4 to 2/3 of our combined infantry, meaning SR, against 6 battle depleted cav. So yeah, it was a good day. I really enjoyed watching that. I know obviously we had the elephants as a bit unfair. You know, you can see what damage. You know, you didn't really see the damage they do because it didn't really cause an insta rout, but it did, you know, obviously did enough, and you sort of see the threat that they can hold. But in the end, it was pretty good play by us anyway. We just hammered that advantage home a little bit. So yeah, you can't really read too much into this battle, but I did like watching the Seleucids play. That was a good use, good army build, and just a good way of just, you know, making sure you're always keeping your eye not only on your opponent, but all your opponent's cav if you're fancying yourself a bit of an anti-cav force. So yeah, we all did pretty well. Bacchus Malus, unfortunately, he took the brunt of the elephants and the shock of the cataphracts. But you know, I did quite well with respect to wedging myself in between them, so he didn't have any backup, and that's why he hasn't got many kills. But otherwise, he put up a pretty decent, you know, he put up a pretty decent fight. It was only the fact that I was able to get my Calfer and totally finish him off that he didn't get more kills. Clash did well against the Judei, obviously, and we, you know, everyone played well there. So good game to everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. Something a bit different for once, a bit of elephants and the 31k. Right, happy days. Until next time.
Follow me, Blaezer.